Senator Xenophon.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President, I rise tonight to pay tribute to a remarkable and brave South Australian I recently had the enormous privilege of meeting, who has been crusading for awareness of childhood cancer and the need to find a cure, all while fighting the most difficult battle of all, the battle for her own life. Erin Griffin is 13 years old. While many teenagers her age are consumed with Justin Bieber or One Direction, Erin has been juggling school, cancer treatment and the most important and very important business of staying alive. Born in Kilmarnock, Scotland, Erin's family emigrated to Australia 6 years ago and now live in the southern suburbs of Adelaide. Erin attends Wollonga High School when she can, but when she was diagnosed with an aggressive, inoperable brain tumour last year, she kept this devastating news to herself. Initially, only a handful of closely trusted people, including her own family, knew of her ordeal. Erin's incredibly hopeful and loving mum, Amanda, says Erin was determined to be treated just like everyone else. Not fond of the spotlight, she was worried people would look at her differently. Whenever her radiation treatment caused her to miss out on school, she'd be back in class the same afternoon and make an excuse about where she'd been. Only her best friend in class knew the truth. But let's pause and go back to where the struggle began. In February last year, when she was just 12 years old and with her whole life ahead of her, Erin was struck down with terrible headaches and vomiting. Erin had contracted tumours in the stem of her brain, which, because of their location, are the hardest to treat. Her mum Amanda scoured the internet to find out more about this puzzling and devastating disease called DIPG, or Diffuse Intrinsic Pontine Glioma. Her family were told she only had months to live. While that would be enough to make even the strongest person crumble, Erin decided to take a different path. She decided to fight. This shy teenager, who hadn't even told her classmates what she was up against, decided to seize the spotlight in an effort to bring awareness to her disease and to help others. Erin used her wish with the Make-A-Wish Foundation to find a cure for childhood cancer. She selflessly used her own Make-A-Wish for the benefit of others in raising international childhood cancer awareness, which took her all the way to a rally in Washington, D.C. in the United States. There she was, halfway across the world from her home, no longer willing to hide anymore, and Erin addressed a crowd of thousands and told them this, and I quote her directly: "All childhood cancers need a cure, and it isn't fair that children are dying because there is no treatment for them. Children have their whole lives ahead of them. Kids are our future, but lots of children with cancer don't even get a chance to grow up because there's not enough awareness and funding or treatments." And, Mr President, can I just say, I can't obviously give justice to what she said because I can't mimic that beautiful Scottish accent that Erin has. With no other treatment options available anywhere in the world, Erin took part in a world-first clinical trial at the Westmead Children's Hospital in Sydney. She now spends 1 week a month in Sydney for the gene therapy trial funded by the Kids Cancer Project. Professor Peter Smith, the Dean of the University of New South Wales Medicine and Chairman of the Research Advisory Council Committee of the Kids Cancer Project, has made this powerful point, and I quote him: "Unlike adult cancers, for which risks can be modified through lifestyle changes like quitting smoking or losing weight, there are no such risk factors for childhood cancers. That means a child's prognosis can only be improved through research advances." And DIPG, Mr President, is a particularly cruel form of cancer because the biggest risk factor for DIPG is simply being a child. The Kids Cancer Project is an Australian charity supporting the best and brightest research into childhood cancer. And here are some absolutely compelling facts directly from the Kids Cancer Project, which need to be as much as possible on the public record and for as many people to know about. Every year, 1,400 Australian children are diagnosed with cancer, 500 children aged 0 to 14 years and 900 adolescents and young adults aged 15 to 24 years. Cancer kills 3 children per week in Australia. Today, cancer is the biggest killer of Australian children from disease. Children get very different types of cancers to adults. Childhood cancer represents a significant number of life years lost, second only to breast cancer in Australia. Childhood cancer is considered a pharmaceutical orphan, Globally, it is not economic to produce drugs for childhood cancer. It is considered not economic, I should say. Risk factors associated with childhood cancer are unknown. The Australian federal government spends over $120 million a year per annum in disease prevention and early detection. Adult cancers are the main focus of this program, and I understand that, but these funds have no impact on improving childhood cancer outcomes. With only $4.7 million out of $559 million in NH and MRC research grants allocated to childhood cancer, less than 1%. Research is highly reliant on community support from organisations like the Kids Cancer Project and The Cure Starts Now, two great organisations. Renowned neurosurgeon and great Australian Dr Charlie Teal, who I'm very privileged to count as a friend, underlines the importance of such research, and he said this: "Brain cancer kills more children than any other cancer. It mostly hits Australians in the prime of their life, peaking in incidence in young adults." Erin Griffin has personally raised $50,000 for The Cure Starts Now. Manages the Facebook page Erin Griffin Raising Childhood Cancer Awareness. I'll repeat that, Mr President. The Facebook page is Erin Griffin, Griffin, Raising Childhood Cancer Awareness, and started a petition seeking to make childhood cancer awareness a national priority. Erin has been on a clinical trial for 12 months now and has at least another 12 months to go, but the outlook so far is promising, and that's just terrific. Erin's latest MRI results indicate she is stable and symptom-free. "I think it's best that I leave the last words to her." And she said this: "There are children dying every day from cancer. This is not right, and this needs to change. There needs to be more awareness, and I'm going to make this happen." Well, Erin, you certainly have. Mr President, I would like to take this opportunity to honour the amazing Erin Griffin and her wonderful mum Amanda for their inspirational efforts to draw attention to this most important issue.